Welcome, bourbon fans, to another episode of Round the Barrel. Today we are discussing Michters. So Michters is one of my personal favorites. I admit, I hope I don't show any bias during this video, but we are going to be discussing their basic line today, just as a really good introduction to what Michters actually is. And today I have with me
Bobby with Whiskey University.
JR with the Whiskey and Rock Podcast.
Scott Laughlin, Executive Bourbon Steward.
and always MJ with Whiskey University as well. So Michters, obviously, I have my own biases. This is one of my two big favorites. I love pretty much everything they do. I've enjoyed them for years, so I hope I don't show any biases. Y'all turn me down if you need to. So today we're going to talk about the American whiskey first. Let's go ahead and get our samples of American whiskey, and then while we're doing that, I do want to talk really quickly about Whiskey University. So obviously, two of us are with the university. We're trying to expand that number to 4 for this video. But the university is great, wonderful place to learn about different whiskeys. We do have classes on Michters and every other distillery that you can possibly think of. So great group of guys. We just got out our annual reunion in Bardstown, Kentucky, which was awesome. And then hopefully, maybe we make it down to Whiskey Row and we can actually go to Michters next year. So we'll see where the 2026 reunion goes. But discussing Michters, I've been here many times. Their place on Whiskey Row is really nice. So great bar upstairs, etc. American light whiskey, obviously. Light on the nose. Now they do have something that I find to be intriguing, and it is funny to me because, I don't know the science behind this. You're kind of a big bourbon nerd. Their barrel entry is 107.
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, most distilleries will proof down and add water, everything after they've aged it. Whereas Michters, they go ahead and add the water, get it to the proof they want, so that it is aging with the water already in the barrel to give it that more mellow, smooth flavor.
Right, and not a lot of distilleries do the 107 barrel entry. So
that's low.
But two of them that do are two of my favorites. So I'm really kind of curious on this one. I wonder what the science is behind that. Any theory you can guess? I mean, again, we're just speculating because I don't actually know. But it's got to be the interaction of the water in the barrel with the whiskey, I would assume. But it does something. But this one, solid whiskey. It's got a nice mouthfeel. Kind of dies a little quick with it to me, but
it's going to be your great entry proof or entry levels, great price point for it. It's going to be good to start out with, and always to go to as a daily.
Oh yeah, very easy for it.
Absolutely. Not complex.
No.
You get the sweetness from it, but not a huge finish.
Get a little bit of oak on there too, which is nice.
But yeah, overall, just solid.
Right. Yeah. Agreed.
And these are all about $45, $47?
I think they range anywhere from 45 to 60. So anyway.
In general, I would say Michters premium or quality.
Oh yeah.
Better way
even but see, this is, and that's why I started with this one. Even though this is probably their, it's not. I don't want to say least favorite because I really like it still. But their regular line is awesome.
Yeah.
And just from the basics on, it's just all good. So a huge fan. So
always easy to find.
Oh
yes,
yeah, and just really good stuff. And again, if you're ever on Whiskey Row in Louisville, it's a must stop.
Absolutely.
Must stop. And the bar's open late.
It's a beautiful old building. It's just everything about it.
The bar's open late, which to me is also a huge perk because there's so much that closes so early on the row.
Yes,
this is a place you can hit at 8, 9 o'clock, and they're still open. The bar's still there to go up. So anyway, American whiskey, definitely thumbs up on that one.
Yeah.
But it's all going to be thumbs up today. So anyway, the second one is one that I'm a huge fan of with a lot of brands that do sour mashes. This one, I kind of put this one second behind the American whiskey just before we get into the bourbon and the rye, because that's obviously, what Kentucky's kind of made of is the bourbons and the rye tend to be the huge thing. But again, to me, it's kind of similar on the nose, maybe a little more of a touch of sweetness to it on the nose. They obviously use sour mash method for this one, but And I also would be curious to know, and I don't know what's in their small batch, because everybody's small batch is different. I wonder how many barrels are in their small batch. This is probably something that's I've been told and don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things in the tours you hear and you're like, oh, that's smaller than what we would expect, but still large quantity.
And their tour there, is really small. They don't really have on Whiskey Row at least. Their tour's not lengthy, just because it's really just the one building that they have there that they're doing all this thing in. But they do have the old mashing tubs with the wood that you can't get anymore. And
Not cypress, but it's that old.
It's like a cypress type, and you can't get them anymore.
Only the place that I see that at is Makers. I think Makers still has the old.
Yeah, that might be true. So, I wonder if there's something to that too, Bill. But they have to clean them thoroughly, but they're really, it's really cool. You do get to see that on the tour. The one thing I'd like to see you guys do, your famous still. It's in your logo, and you can't even. It's not even open to the public. You can't go see it. It's not at.
I don't think they're going to do tours there.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just, but that's still. I'd love to see it. So, Michters, if we could ever make that happen, that would be awesome. I'd love to see it. That's one still I'd love to have my picture done with.
So I'm going to be honest. I think this actually might be my first time trying sour mash.
Really?
The only one that I have was toasted. And I was able to get two toasted sour mashes. And I love them, but I've just never gone and gotten a sour mash. And this is still really good.
It is.
It's really good.
It is. Adds a little complexity.
It does.
You got the sweetness up front, but then it kind of almost like a spice finish.
Feels like
a
it
little
has
peppery almost.
More of a thicker mouthfeel, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a longer finish.
Yeah.
The finish lasts a lot. It stays with you.
I will say I think I like the sour mash more. I like the American whiskey because of how that mouthfeel is.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, this is actually my second favorite of their basic line. I really enjoy this, even with the peppery note, which is typically not something I would kind of lean towards personally.
Yeah.
But for this, it works. It's not like overbearing. It's just slightly there enough to take a note of it. So, sour mash, obviously, really good.
Thumbs up for sure.
So if you're watching out there and you've never had any of the Michters line, which is what we're trying to do with these videos, is give you kind of a good basic understanding of what we're at least getting on the palates and things like that. And, definitely get out and try some of this stuff. Their line is great. Speaking of American whiskey and the sour mash, especially with the whiskey, we have JR here who does his podcast, Whiskey and Rocks. Would you like to talk about that for just a second?
Yeah, Whiskey and Rock, we're an audio podcast. We do everything from review new releases, stuff in our collections, and to having master distillers and brand owners on, brand ambassadors on, and interview them. And we get the occasional rock star.
Who's been some of the latest people you've had?
We've had David Coors. So David is fifth generation Coors family, which everyone knows from the beer world. But a couple years ago, they released Five Trail, and that's kind of their entry into the bourbon world. And then I think about a year or two ago, they bought Blue Run. So Blue Run's part of the portfolio.
I did not know that was Coors.
Yeah.
Blue Run's kind of,
So they're doing some really cool things. I mean, Blue Run has some fantastic bottles and some single barrels, and they have a flight series that they do every year that's really interesting. And, Five Trail, I was really impressed with just the normal Five Trail. And then they put out this one last year called the Barman, which is just like a $30, $40 bottle that's incredible.
Nice.
So they're doing some really good things. So it was great having David on. We've had the guys from Southern Distilling out in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And we've had the guys from...
I got introduced to them from a distillery, and oh my gosh, I love their product.
They're doing amazing things too. The Paragon.
Oh yes.
So good.
Oh yes.
There's a couple of those.
Yeah, I mean, what they're doing to me is extremely underrated, and and their contract distilling for a ton of people.
Yes.
So there's a lot of good stuff, and obviously, so we all should be listening to the Whiskey and Rocks podcast. If you're not, you need to be. Obviously, some amazing things that they talk about. Plus, there's some rock and roll in there, and some good music, obviously too. And since we're in Nashville, music's kind of like the thing.
Music
anyway.
City.
Yeah, you're Music City, USA. There's a reason why we call it that.
Getting the best of both worlds out there.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I mean, what a great, that is just an awesome thing. You can go out and listen to some great tunes every night practically, and great whiskey and bourbon around. But obviously a lot of cool stuff going on in the bourbon industry. One of the cool things, of course, has always been Michters. It's one of the longest standing distilleries. It is US 1 as far as their patent number, so like their registration number. So there is a reason why that's there. A lot of history in the Michters. I'm not really going to go into that on this video, but I do recommend at Whiskey University, we offer a class where we talk about the history of Michters and where it came from and how it got to where it is, etc. Look us up, whiskeyunib.com. For now, though, they're bourbon. This is, and I will tell you, if you're looking at the bottles, this Fort Nelson bottle, this is a bottle. They do some small distilling at the Fort Nelson Distillery in Louisville. This bottle did come from there, and it got personalized. So they do little personalization stickers if you want your bottle personalized. Thank you, Vicky. Appreciate that. That's been several years. She may not even remember that, but the wife and I were there and had a great time. We enjoyed the heck out of Michters. So I don't want to talk about the money I spent in your store.
Definitely lined up a few times in the morning to try and do the bottle your own, or get some of the tins or something like that.
Yep.
To me, this is just quality intro bourbon.
Oh yeah.
Like I mean, it doesn't, for an entry level bottle that you can find pretty much everywhere, and for the price, like, you don't get better quality than this. It's just classic bourbon flavors, the caramel, the vanilla.
Yep.
But it still has some complexity to it, in my opinion. Like, I still get like a lot more on it than just that. I guess the vanilla and the caramel shines through, but for me, in the back of the throat, I get all kinds of things going on. Almost.
Well, and I think that's what's great about Michters is, you know, if you're used to drinking, you know, in that $20, $30 range, but looking to expand your palate, looking to expand and go up somewhere else, I think Michters is like the perfect line to do that with, because it's still that $50-ish range, and the quality drinks way better than the rest.
It's the mouthfeel. Like, I mean, it's just
This is one where you could, if you just bought their standard line, you didn't even look at the, you know, the barrel strengths or the toasteds or the Bombergers or the Shanks and the 10 years. You still are getting a really, really, really solid product. And to me, on the nose, the bourbon always takes me. And I know this is going to be kind of unique to me, I guess, but it reminds me of fall mornings where I grew up. I grew up at the base of the Smoky Mountains, and it's just got a crispness to it. Like, I really, like, the air in the fall was always really crisp there.
I was sitting here thinking, just sitting on the porch out in the fall.
Yeah.
Sit this all day long.
It takes me straight there. It's like a football morning. The Vols are about to take the field, and you just, you know, it just, and you could, I don't know. I love it anyway. But thank you, Michters. Wonderful product. If you haven't had their bourbon, you gotta. You absolutely have to. And last but not least, by any stretch of the imagination, is their rye. This is the one, I think, that when you talk about bourbon people, they think Michters, the rye is what really comes to mind, the first possible thing, because their rye is just, I mean, this is the rye that got me into rye.
So I think we found out which one your favorite was already. That's pretty quick and easy.
Well, this is where my bias comes, because I wasn't like a lot of people. I think when I thought rye, I thought spicy, more harsh flavors and notes, and you know, this was the one. I mean, I drank for years and years and years, and never really gave rye a major shot until this, and it has opened my palate now that I'm even a rye guy now. Like, you look around the bar, there's rye everywhere.
Yeah.
And this is the one that brought that to the forefront. This is what opened my mind up to rye.
This is definitely a bourbon drinker's rye. It's, it's not harsh. Everyone immediately thinks spice, hot, all that. This isn't that. It's a great rye, but it is a bourbon drinker's rye.
Absolutely. Starts bourbon, finishes rye. And that's
great
one thing I love about
good
Michters.
description.
And the barrel proof rye, that's probably my favorite pour from them.
Absolutely. Yes.
It's unreal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff. It is really good stuff. You know, but again, this is a bottle. I mean, like, I keep the Fort Nelson bottle. This is not the juice from Fort Nelson. I just keep refilling the same bottle just because it's got my name and Angie's name on it. And they personalized it for me, so I'm like, okay, that's great. So I just keep using it. And I probably filled this bottle, goodness gracious, I don't even think about how many times, because this is one of my regular drinkers. So you're supposed to keep me from showing my bias here, but like, Michters,
It's hard to do that with something this good.
oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's just
Especially
so
at this price point, this availability. I mean,
Yeah, and so this is actually my summer drink. Michter's Rye, strawberry lemonade, crushed ice. And the crushed ice is key.
Okay.
But you put that in a tumbler, you can sip that in the pool, not get wasted, still have fun, and it's phenomenal. I mean,
there you go. There's
It goes
a,
so
that's
well.
going to be added for this summer's to-do list.
you know, like summer for me, like that. I've never thought of that. Like,
I'm not a
that's
rye person. In the
I'm not a
summer.
mixed drink guy.
Like, well, I'm not either. But like, normally my rye, when it turns into fall and into winter, that's pretty much all I'm grabbing off the shelf.
Yeah.
And then as the summer and spring comes,
You don't-
I lean away.
a
But
little
I
hard
like
to
this.
carry a Glen in the pool.
but you don't think rye in summer either, typically. Because
I
again,
don't.
most people typically think about when they think about rye, they think about those harsher notes that give it a little more spice and you think more fall, winter kind of drink. But that's awesome. And what is there now? Let me ask you on the mix there. Is there a specific brand that you use on the strawberry?
No, I think you can use whatever you want.
Okay.
Are you going half and half, or
Yeah. What's your ratio?
I mean,
there?
it depends on how long I'm gonna be out. Is it a marathon or a sprint? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And how many? You take
But,
the kids? Or are we?
But yeah, there for me, like it's not harsh at all. There's very little spice here.
Yeah.
It's
at
there.
all. It
is
more
there, but
of
it's not there.
the herbal minty tones are
the
there,
finish,
and that sweetness up front.
Yeah.
Oh, just
It's almost like it gives you the hint of a rye.
exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
This is a perfect intro to rye.
absolutely.
Yeah.
whatever they're and again, it was mine. That's what kind of led me to trying more ryes because I had just written ryes off. It's just something I didn't really want to try because I'd listened to people talk about ryes. So, and it just didn't sound appealing to my palate. But
it took a while for me to get into them as well.
yeah, but I mean, again, and I credit the university for this. Whiskey U is where I took my first Michters class. And I bought the bottle for one of the classes. And that's really kind of where it sprung up from. But anyway, so the basic Michters line obviously is a win all the way across the board.
Yes.
This brand has been around for a very long time. Highly, highly recommend if you have not tried any of the Michters basic line that you get out. I recommend picking up all 4 bottles. But again, I have my own biases. This is one of those expenses that I made at the store. There's several other T-shirts and polos and things upstairs. But again, Michters, thumbs up from across the table. I don't think anybody had a negative thing to say.
Yeah.
Guys, this is one of those that get out and try. And till next time, we appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, all those good things. And then join us for for several of our other videos that we do. And we've got some exciting stuff coming around the bend. So thank you and have a great day. Thank you.